Hi, this is Kevin Deal from Upscale Audio, and today we're going to talk about the Klipsch Heresy IV. But before I go there, I want to tell you something. I wanted to get my hair cut, and hair barbers are not open yet, so I could not take it anymore. And I said to my loving wife, Miss Laura, cut my hair. And we tried to, and then we had a mishap with the clippers, and we just shaved a stripe right in the side of my head. And she said, no, wait, don't worry, I can fix it. And she got out this stuff. She goes, I can spray paint the side of your head. And so I'm not even going to show you what the hell's going on over here. But then I started to think about it. I go, now she's spray painting the side of my head, and she took a picture of it. And then just a couple weeks ago, my dog Sasha got a tick in her ear, and we couldn't get her to stand still to get the tick out. I'm like, oh my God, what are we going to do? She goes, wait. She goes, I got an idea. I read about this. We wrap saran wrap around your head, and then we put peanut butter on it and let the dog lick the peanut butter, and then I can get the tick out. And that's what we did, but then she snapped a picture of me doing that. And I'm like, wait a minute, what do we have to wrap the saran wrap around my head? It could have been around anything. I have a feeling that my wife is trying to goof on me. And what's the deal with barbers not being open anyway? In California, you know what an essential business is? My cameraman, Mr. 420, just told me. What's essential here, Mr. 420?
Dispensaries?
Yeah, dispensaries. That's what's essential in California. So thank you. This is the Heresy IV. What did the Klipsch Heresy IV come from? Back in the day, the idea of good high fidelity was 3-channel stereo, which was putting a pair of Klipsch horns in corners, which were way too far apart, in order to get a good effective stereo image. So you would stick one of these in the center, and that was supposed to create a realistic 3-dimensional image. We know so much more today about music. We know so much more about creating that illusion of real music. I mean, it's kind of funny because I was reading the instructions to this, and it talks about this. It says to place the speakers, spread them between 6 and 15 feet apart. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Listen, before I even break this down, I got to say something to you. Number one, these speakers take a long time to break in because I compared them to the Heresy IIIs. I've spent a lot of time with them in the last few days. And the Heresy IIIs are kind of sweet on the top end, and these things bit my ears off. But then I realized that the Heresy IIIs did the same thing. When you get these, they have a break-in period. All speakers do. You need to put time on them. Don't judge them. They're going to take 500 hours of playing them to get the bass driver to come to life. But more important, the tweeter is going to be really, really tight, and it's going to be really, really bright. The speaker is not super bright. People always say that, and it's because they go to a dealer that doesn't do their job correctly. This speaker needs to be broken in, but then more important, they have to be placed properly. 6 to 12 feet apart or 6 to 15 feet apart, that's fine for people that want to play some rock and roll and some Ted Nugent and all that stuff. Have a good time, party up, drink some beer. But if you're trying to recreate a real 3-dimensional image, it's going to require more finesse than that. And I don't care what speaker you buy from me or anywhere else. I don't care how much money you spend. If you miss it by an inch, everything can fall apart. So how do you place these speakers right? We have a setup disc that we supply to all of our customers on a thumb drive or on a CD with 2 sets of instructions. The basic set of instructions that'll get you quite a ways there, and setup instructions for obsessive compulsive disorder customers that gets into the nitty-gritty. And you can't do it with a tape measure, and you can't do it with a laser beam. If you think you can do it that way, you are on crack. You have to do it by ear, and it requires 2 people. But if you do it, you can get the magic. Now, what's the deal with the Heresy IV? Well, they redesigned the speaker because the Heresy all along has been a sealed box design. And so they've now ported the speaker. Here it is on the back. And I'm not quite sure why they even did that. They bumped up the efficiency ever so slightly because when I compared the 2 side by side, but when you increase efficiency by adding a port, sometimes you can lose a little bit of the lowest bass octaves, right? So you can lose a little bit of bottom end. So to offset that, they increased the cabinet size of the speaker. So this speaker is a little bit larger than the Heresy III is. So you didn't really give up much of anything. It's an all-new speaker. It's an all-new design. They are a little bit more efficient. They're both rated at 99 dB efficient, but this one is, I can tell you, absolutely, it is a more efficient speaker than the Heresy III. And it's a gorgeous speaker. And it has, the thing I did notice about this speaker is oh, I love this grill, by the way. This is the new grill. And this material is just bitchin'. I mean, it's just so retro looking. They really did a great job with that. What I noticed is they had changed the crossover point for the midband driver, and it's got just a little bit more meat on the bones. And I like that. I think that's a really important thing to me personally. But it's a really, really good midband. The bass is really solid. I mean, it's just a bitchin' speaker. You can run it with any amplifier that you want, you know, because they don't take that much power. I think they sound best on a tube amp. You know, to be a Klipsch dealer at the level that we are at Upscale Audio, we're a special class of heritage dealers. You have to be able to demonstrate these with a turntable and with a tube amp. And to me, that's really the way to listen to some Klipsch. Any Klipsch is on a tube amplifier. And if you get one, don't get a high-powered tube amp because the speaker's 99 dB efficient. You're not going to use more than maybe 10 watts. If you gave this speaker 10 watts continuous, I think it'd blow you out of the room, right? So don't concern yourself with a high-power tube amp. Concern yourself with getting a quiet tube amp. And by the way, if you have a tube amp and it has a 4-ohm tap and an 8-ohm tap, from what I could hear, in my own listening test, they sound best on the 8-ohm tap. Sometimes an 8-ohm speaker is going to sound better on a 4-ohm tap. I've found that many, many times, but I think this one sounds best on an 8-ohm tap. And if you're thinking about picking up a tube amp, look at a PrimaLuna, an Evo 200 or 300 or an Evo 100. It would rock your world. And that's 36 watts per channel. You know, I know that there's a manufacturer that is coming out with an amp that has some walnut trim on the sides that's made to go with Klipsch. That doesn't make it a better amp for Klipsch. What you want from a tube amp is wide bandwidth output transformers, and you want quietness. And a PrimaLuna, that's just what people buy. That's what people buy when they buy Klipsch speakers. So look at this. I mean, they kind of step things up a little bit. I have to say that the finish is a little bit nicer than before. They have new binding posts that are metal and the old ones were plastic. I'd have to say that the attention to detail and quality is fabulous. They're available in several finishes, and it can take up to 8 weeks to get a pair. So we keep every finish in stock now. You look, it's a great speaker. It's a fun speaker. That's what I would say about this. For the guys that are, you know, people that eat little sandwiches and tea and they want imaging that's absolute perfection, and you know, some audiophile guys, I don't know that I would classify that as this speaker as that type of a speaker. This is a speaker that you just can't help but smile and have a good time when you listen to it. And I don't care if you're an audiophile or not, but it's not going to have, you know, that kind of a mid-brand that you get from, let's say, a good dual concentric, you know. But damn, it's tremendous fun. Hell, I'd have a pair of these in a heartbeat. So look, go to our website. If you buy them from us, you don't love them, you can send them back within 60 days. We'll give you a full refund. Thank you for buying them in the first place. We make sure that you understand how to use them by giving you setup material, by giving you burn-in material, making sure that you're happy after the sale. And the thing is, like, if this isn't the right speaker for you, my salespeople are going to tell you because they're not on commission. We have no interest financing. We do take trade-ins. Come to our store, go to our website, buy a pair of Klipsch Heresy 4s. It is a bitchin' speaker, made in the United States, you know, look, I mean, you can practically smell the cologne of the old man, Paul Klipsch, when you look at this speaker, because the company really has not changed that much in all these years. Thanks for listening.